And as the government shutdown enters its very first weekend, the U.S. Congress has indicated that it will pay federal workers payback when the shutdown ends. Nathan King joins us live at the White House to explain. Hello, Nathan.
Yeah, despite that promise, I can tell you a lot of people are worried. You know, Phil, it's the weekend here in Washington, D.C. It's Friday night, and normally you put the worries of the week behind you, don't you? But for 800,000 furloughed workers, this could be a worrying weekend and a worrying week to come.
I am resourceful.
Maria Njoku checks to see if she has enough food to last the week. She lives paycheck to paycheck and fears that if this crisis goes on much longer, she could be in real financial trouble.
It's very difficult for me to, save up, pay for bills, in a forward balancing process, and just trying to make sure that all my bills are met by the end of the month.
As a Defense Department civilian employee, Maria is one of the nearly 800,000 U.S. federal workers temporarily laid off. Her parents work for the government too, but now she's considering working in the private sector.
The old saying is that the government is safe, it's job security, and the benefits are good. Well, it puts a different perspective when you're furloughed in twice in less than 6 months, and you're not being paid, and your job is dependent on what Congress does.
We want to work. We want to work.
Outside the U.S. Capitol, where American congressmen have so far failed to solve the crisis, laid-off workers vent their frustration, demanding that their representatives end the shutdown.
I speak for my colleagues when I say we need to get back to work. We have very important work that needs to be done. My wife is also furloughed. How about explaining to my 4-year-old son why he can't go to daycare right now? Because mom and dad cannot go to work and earn a living like we want to.
The economic cost is growing, but how much won't be known for a while. In fact, one victim of the partial shutdown is the monthly jobs report, which was due out Friday. The shutdown means government economists could not release the data. Many economists believe that for each week of a government shutdown, U.S. economic growth will be slow between 1/10 and 2/10%. But the human costs are already far too evident. Yeah, and as the costs rise here domestically, we know internationally the costs are rising as well. We're reporting all night on CCTV, basically from Bali to the Beltway, about the cancellation of President Obama's trip to the APEC summit. And he said in his statement that he wasn't going, that the absence of him there could also cost American jobs and exports. So I just want to read a quote to you, Phil. This completely avoidable shutdown is setting back our ability to create jobs through promotion of U.S. exports and advance U.S. leadership and interest in the largest emerging region in the world.
Nathan, you've been there now for 4 days. We're actually in day 4. I suppose the shutdown started at the end of Monday night. Do you get the sense that we're any closer possible to resolution with this weekend that's coming up?
In a word, no, Phil, but the timetable suggests they have to be. Remember, the red letter day for everyone is October the 17th. That is when basically the Treasury runs out of money to start paying off the debt. That is October the 17th when the debt ceiling level has to be raised. Remember, it's around $17 trillion that they have to do that. The closer we get to that date, the more pressure on both sides to come to a deal. Even though they are poles apart, John Boehner himself, the leader of the House Republicans in the U.S. Congress, has said he will not let the country default on its debt payments, both here in the U.S. and internationally. President Obama has said the same thing. That is the only point of agreement. So the closer we get to that date, the more likelihood of a deal. But at the moment, it doesn't look good.
Nathan King, thank you very much for joining us again.